first semi-final is at 3 p.m. on Sunday in Chadwick's Wexford Park. It's between county champions Castletown and county champions from 2016 Gusserane or Rahilly's. Noel, your thoughts first, maybe to reflect a little bit on the semi-finals at the weekend or the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals at the weekend, yeah. Well, sure. I mean, the two involved in these teams. I mean, like I predicted that Limbarton, I thought they were going to win that game, to be honest. Then when I read the team sheets or heard the lineouts and Gavin Sheehan was arriving with his Oro mask on him, like that made, you'd be thinking straight away, well, I'd take me fiver off him and slip it across, take me fiver off Glyn and slip it across onto Gusserane. That just shows the kind of when you're talking about lads who are not playing and stuff there through the championship, there's a fella like that probably shouldn't be playing because of the injury he has, but the club man that he is said, right, the first thing he was asking, can I get a mask, can I play for my team at the weekend? And he lined out for him and he was like brilliant, and like not that he was brilliant, but his presence alone of being there on the field, I'd say, gave everyone a lift in the dressing room before they went out, knowing that one of our main players is here and he's going to line out for us. So that's why that was a big. I kind of thought Glyn would win that game, but Glyn got a few things really badly wrong in that game. They had one of their best players, Rian Cosby, trying to man mark somebody instead of going and doing his own job. And he was very influential throughout the championship so far. A few there lads didn't really perform, but Mark Rossiter, Minnie Ryan, these fellas have a knack of standing up on the big day, and did it last weekend for Gusserane. Castletown against the Starlights. The Starlights played very well for the opening probably 20 minutes of that game and gave as good as they got, but then got into an awful rut before half time, couldn't win a kick out of their own. Castletown put this 4-3-4 press on the kick out, they put 11 players forward on your kick out, and really if you're not set up or if you haven't got a plan, you're going to be in big trouble, and that proved to be the point. And obviously at the end there was a kind of soft goal scored at the end, but Castletown were full value once they got in control of the game. But I thought Starlights did very well up to 20 minutes or that, and then it just kind of fell apart on them really because of the standard of players Castletown have as well. I mean, in their forwards units, you give them a chance, they'll pull the trigger, and they're probably scoring 3 out of every 5 shots, or maybe 4 out of every 5 shots they take on goal.
I don't know how much they did it against Enda, but that kick-out strategy was certainly something very interesting. For those who don't know, Enda was the goalkeeper for Halfway House Bunclody.
I know
they kind of put nearly like a row of 4 or 5 in their full forward line for a kick-out.
It becomes nearly a zonal play, and even the day we played with a strong wind, you had like Robbie Brooks standing 13 metres from the kick, like he's right on top of it. So it is line upon line. It's very hard to get around, as Noel says, if you don't have a plan, which we didn't on the day. You're just hitting and hope essentially. Like Castletown, they're well drilled. I think of any team left in the championship, they have the best setup. Obviously their inside forward line, Brendan Halpin, Ben Brosnan, Robbie Brooks, John Beelan to come on the bench, like they have firepower and legs. Jack Higgins there, Donica Holmes. They're a strong unit. I think it's interesting, you were looking at Ben Brosnan and Mark Roster, like the 2 top scorers in the championship at the moment, like very good footballers. I see Graham Cullen there with 2 good goals at the weekend. People say that Gusserane had the harder side with Shells and Kyle Nearn there, that maybe the Castletown, they slipped through, like ourselves and a few other people wouldn't see it as strong, but I think that maybe they're more battle hard than Gusserane. But I think Castletown, they're set up, the experience, they're county champions for a reason. They've a lot going for them.
And you mentioned Mark Rossiter there, and he just seems to be brilliant every day. The types of scores he's able to get from play, and the danger he can pose as a threat to every type of defence in every type of way that teams try to handle him. They just can't seem to handle him.
Yeah, look, they're clocking big scores there every day, and the same with Ben Brosnan. These top footballers, they're not easy to handle, and there's a reason why they're at that level.
Your thoughts on the Gusserane firepower and attack now?
Yeah, I was sure, the day they played the Starlights inside in Wexford Park too, another game that was sort of in the balance there too, and they come up with the goods that day, or there was a draw. I thought the game finished a draw, didn't it? Gusserane won it. Sorry, Gusserane won by 1.
13-12.
Yeah, they came through, and it was a really tough day and a traditional day, but it was those key scores from Mark Rossiter at times, and he's really good on the frees, and anything inside 40 for, I suppose, for himself and Ben on the other side, it's more or less guaranteed nail on. But they're going to need the lads like Adrian Flynn and Killian Keogh to have a great game at the weekend. They're going to have a plan for the kickouts. Whether it's you put 2 pods on either side of the field, or you put a stack up the field. But see, Castletown will stick to their plan. You just have to, and the advantage that Castletown have is when a team press them, Darragh Brooks will just kick it over the top of everybody. And I don't know if the goalkeeper for Gusserane has that boot on him to be able to drive it out over the top of that. So that's a big part of the game. But
Gusserane were very impressive on the kickouts against Linbarntown. You have the likes of John Roach, very big man, very good in the air. Killian Keogh the same. Kieran Conway came on as a sub, but again very similar. Emmett Cullen went off injured, but again in that bracket as well. Like they're very good target men for kickouts, and if Castletown want to go long, they'll mix it with the likes of Liam Coleman.
But the issue is what we see with Castletown. Majority of the time they're breaking it down with the way they're set up. It's the next row are coming for. They're coming back forward. They go onto the next row. Break. And as I say, Liam Coleman's there. What an asset in the air and what an athlete he is.
Yeah, and I suppose from the weekend, I suppose kind of doing stats with the Starlights there, and you could see that, obviously Nick Doyle was going to be a kind of a target for kickouts you'd expect, and that's what Castletown would have been expecting, but it was one man jumping with him, but then there was two men waiting in front for the breakdown, as what Enda just said there, and that's the key thing is that Gusserane have got to have men, wherever the ball is going, they have to have 4 or 5 men there around it to make sure that they win the ball if they can off the break. If you don't win it clean, win it off the break. And on the other side of it, what do you do on Castletown kick-out? Do you make them go long or do you force them to go short? Do you want to get rid of Darragh Brooks' boot and make him kick it short? But that's what the Starlights did the weekend, and it made no difference because they were going up the left-hand side of the pitch there at pace, and if you're going to give up the kick-out, you've got to get a tackle on before they get out of the 45. So, listen, they have, I suppose Paul Garrigan on the sideline, and you have Anthony there, and I see him at the weekend, they were so calm, there was no shouting and roaring from the sideline from the Castletown, anybody on their line. They just stuck to the plan and eventually wore down the Starlights. Starlights came out with a good bit of pep in their step, to be honest.
Yeah, they started the game well. The Joe Gardner goal was really key for Castletown because Starlights did have them under pressure.
Yeah, they did. They probably should have had a penalty as well, I'd say, to be fair to Castletown, but they weathered the storm that came at them, and you'd expect that from Starlights any day you play them. But when Castletown got the bit between their teeth, and they're a sort of team that you need to get ahead of them, and then you have to try and stay ahead of them, I suppose. But you don't want to be, because they'll just all funnel back. If they get ahead of you, it's so hard to break them down. They're so good defensively. It's not just all about their forwards. Their
ball retention is.
Yeah. Don't give it away too easy.
No.
Yeah. One issue, first of all, I was just going to say the referee for this game is Kevin Carty, in my opinion, the best football referee we have in the county. I think he made an excellent decision at the weekend, but the decision he made, I'll explain it now in a second, it highlights, I suppose, the folly of the black card rule. It was in the Kylenear and Bunclody game. There was one of the Kylenear players running in on goal, and one of the Bunclody players just literally grabbed his jersey and just held him and stopped him running any further. And it was a goal scoring opportunity, and according to the rules, because he didn't pull him down, he only pulled him back. Because he didn't pull him down, it's only a yellow card in the rules. But it'd be every bit as cynical as a deliberate trip or as a deliberate pull down. And then in the St Anne's Shelmaliers game, we saw a goalkeeper coming out and deliberately trip, I think it was Brian Malone, as he was coming in on goal, deliberately tripped him. The referee went in and gave him a yellow card. And my thoughts on that would be, if the referee thought it was a deliberate trip, it's a black card, and if he didn't think it's a deliberate trip, it's no card. So you'd be saying, what was the yellow card for in the first place? There does seem, I don't know about the games that your opinions on the black cards as, but it does seem to be still an area where there's a lot of inconsistency. I think, as I said, Kevin Carty made the right decision, but the rules don't allow for that type of a cynical tackle I described. And then in the other case, I thought the referee got it wrong in the case of the trip. But it does seem to be an area that's still up for debate, and where there's still decisions being made that could definitely go one way or the other now.
Yeah, sure. It's not easy to referee, and I see my own brother's refereeing, and he's fairly good at it, to be honest, and knows the rules and stuff But then there is these sort of grey areas there, But you'd often hear you'd be at a match there and people roaring from the stand, and they actually don't know the rules. They're roaring for cards. Oh, it's a black card and this, but a tackle on the ball, to my knowledge, is basically a yellow card. Regardless how dangerous or whatever it is, it's more or less a yellow card. As long as it's on the ball. But when it's as you said there, the black card was brought in to get rid of cynicism, and pulling the jersey off Philip, stopping going through a goal is basically, it's a black card, but it's not in the rules. It's not, you see. So there's listen, I know there's a review of rules and stuff going on again there at the minute, and review of football, and sure, I suppose the black card is going to come up in that again, but don't know. It's hard to call them, to be honest.
There's five criteria for a black card at the moment: to deliberately pull down an opponent, to deliberately trip an opponent, to deliberately body collide with an opponent after he's played away the ball, to remonstrate aggressively with a match official, and to threaten or provoke opponents, which is an interesting one. Maybe we could see that at some stage. But Enda, your thoughts on that?
Well, I suppose in those two scenarios, as Cloney man is the goalkeeper, I won't complain in one department. But look, I see it on the field a lot of times when a decision is made. Majority of the players are guessing. What is it going to be? You know, did he release before he went to the ground? Did he hold him? What is the referee's angle? It's a tough one for referees. I think in the scenario there, obviously bearing down the goal, everyone knows he's trying to impede him from going through, pulling, any way you're going to do it. It would be, for me, a black card, in my opinion, but look, it's how we interpret the rules sometimes. It's not always as straightforward. I think in terms of Graham and goal there for St. Anne's, it did look like an intentional, but look, we'll never know.
Here's another one for the rule check that I asked the question at the weekend and I didn't go and check up the rule afterwards, but one of the I think a Starlights player, the goalkeeper, kicked the ball out and a Starlights player won it on a mark and then proceeded to kick from the mark then, so obviously the play stopped for 2 or 3 seconds and then his mark, he kicked it back to the goalkeeper. I'm not sure on that. Is that a new play or is it the same play?
Yeah,
strike me as the same play there now.
That's exactly the type of thing that I would say when the people who were designing the rules didn't think every scenario fully through. I'd say it probably is foul of the rule of giving it straight back to the goalkeeper, because that's where the next pass goes. But then, as you say, it's a different phase of play. Kind of the free kick for the mark has been given. So is it now a free kick or is it still the open play? So yeah, there's loads of different anomalies in the rules, I suppose, at the moment. But that's kind of a little bit of an aside. Who's going to win the Castletown Gusserane game, Enda?
Yeah, I think as Noel said, in terms of kickouts, Darren Brooks on one side and then obviously they're set up on the other. I'd find it hard to look past Castletown. I think they're just so the experience, and I know obviously we're going to go on to talk about the teams on the other sides, and I've spoke to a few players there. They are worried about their experience, their setup and how they go, so I'll go for Castletown here for me.
Oh.
Is it sort of bonus territory for Gusserane? Are they happy with semi-final? Like, if you ask the boys in Gusserane, like, when are you guaranteed to be in a county semi-final again, or when are you guaranteed to be 60 minutes away from a county final again? So it's a real chance for Gusserane, probably one that they mightn't have thought at the start of the year. Like, I mean, they've got momentum from since the first round win over St. James's. That was a crucial game in that group, and they've got the momentum from it. It's been a tough group that they've been in. They've been in a few dogged battles throughout their group, so they're battle hardened, as we said earlier on. Castletown, county champions and so well set up. I mean, they tactically bet the shells up a stick last year in the county final. But they, even in the games where it turns into a battle, the 1-9 to 8 point sort of games, they're able to come out on top on it. So I just think that they have too much at the minute, and they're going to get the chance to go for 2 in a row in the county final in a week's time, I think.
Yeah, the last team to beat Castletown in a knockout championship game was actually Gusserane in the quarter-finals of 2021. It was a really windy day, and Castletown kind of went totally into their shell. Even though they had elements in their favour, they just kind of seemed to get very bogged down in a defensive type of a game. I think they're more tactically astute now than they were in that particular year, and I don't think they'll let lightning strike twice. So I'm going to go for Castletown and make it a full house here on the panel. So we think Castletown is going to make the county final for 2023.